Rain poured down on the streets of Neo-Seoul. The huge buildings with their strange shapes and glowing lights offered little shelter for Duri. The small brown dog, thin and wet, sniffed around trash bins for food. Duri had been on his own for months. He was good at hiding from the city workers who tried to catch stray animals. Today, his empty stomach made him brave. He crept closer to a food stall where humans bought hot meals. Above the city, massive alien ships moved through the clouds. The Celestials had ruled Earth for 50 years now. Humans still lived their lives, but they answered to the insect-like aliens who controlled the galaxy. "Move along. No animals near the food," a worker shouted, waving a stick at Duri. The dog ran, dodging between people's legs. He was hungry and tired. Rain soaked his fur as he found a small space between buildings to hide. Not far away, a procession of floating vehicles moved through the main street. People stopped to watch. Inside the middle vehicle sat Princess Juwu, heir to the Celestial Empire. Juwu looked out at the wet city with curious eyes. She was young for a Celestial, only 80 years old. Her skin had a slight blue glow, and the crown-like structure on her head marked her as royal. "What are those people looking at?" she asked her guard, Taijo. Taijo, a tall human with short black hair, glanced where she pointed. "They're watching a street performer, Your Highness." "Stop the car," Juwu commanded. "I want to see." "But Your Highness, we have a schedule to keep," said her advisor, an older Celestial named Moro. "This is my cultural immersion," Juwu replied firmly. "I need to understand human life." The car stopped, and Juwu stepped out despite the rain. Her personal shield kept her dry as she walked toward the crowd. People bowed and moved aside. That's when she heard a small whimper. Juwu turned and saw Duri, trembling in his hiding spot. The dog looked up at her with big brown eyes. "What is this creature?" she asked Taijo, moving closer to Duri. "A dog, Your Highness, a domestic earth animal. This one appears to be a stray." Juwu tilted her head, fascinated. "We have no such companion animals in celestial culture. Why is it alone in the rain?" "Strays are common in big cities," Taijo explained. "The local authorities try to collect them, but there are many." Duri backed away at first, but hunger made him brave. He took a small step toward the strange glowing woman. "It's suffering," Juwu said softly. She reached into her food pouch and pulled out a protein cube. Kneeling down, she offered it to Duri. The dog sniffed cautiously, then quickly ate the food. "Your Highness," Moro gasped, "that is most improper. You cannot interact with a dirty earth animal." "He's hungry," Juwu replied simply. "And curious. Look how he watches me." Indeed, Duri sat down and stared at Juwu intently. Something about her light seemed to draw him in. "We must continue to the embassy," Moro insisted. Juwu stood but didn't move toward the car. Rain fell harder around them. "I will take him with us," she announced. "Absolutely not," Moro protested. "It violates protocol, health regulations, and—" "I am the Imperial Heir," Juwu cut in, her voice suddenly cold. "This animal interests me. It will receive medical treatment and cleaning. Then I will observe it." Before anyone could argue further, Juwu gently picked up Duri. The dog stiffened at first, then relaxed in her warm, glowing arms. "A strange planet with strange creatures," Juwu murmured as she carried Duri to her vehicle. "Perhaps we have much to learn from each other." As they drove away, no one noticed the slight blue shimmer that passed through Duri's fur for just a moment, or how his eyes reflected Juwu's light in a way no normal dog's eye should. The abandoned one had found his princess, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. Dr. Hyun ran his scanner over Duri's small body for the third time. The dog lay still on the medical table, watching the human doctor with alert eyes. "Anything unusual?" asked Princess Juwu. She stood nearby, her blue glow lighting the room. Dr. Hyun, a middle-aged man with kind eyes, looked puzzled. "Yes, Your Highness. Something very strange indeed. He pointed to his screen. This dog has an unusual genetic structure. Here in these cells, they are absorbing and storing energy. Your energy. Is that bad? Ju moved closer to Duri, who wagged his tail at her approach. Not bad. Impossible, Dr. Hyun said. Only celestials can process your kind of energy. No earth animal should be able to do this. Ju gently touched Duri's head. The dog leaned into her hand. He seems healthier already, she noted. The once thin dog looked stronger after just 3 days in the embassy. Your energy is feeding him somehow, Dr. Hyun said. I should report this to. No, Ju interrupted. Tell no one yet. I want to understand this myself first. Dr. Hyun nodded. As you wish, Your Highness. A week later, Princess Ju attended a large dinner with Earth's leaders. The great hall glittered with lights and decorations. Humans in fine clothes mingled with a few high-ranking celestials. Against all protocol, Duri sat by Ju's feet under the table. Moro had argued fiercely against bringing the dog, but Ju would not be swayed. Your Earth cuisines are fascinating, Ju said to the city mayor. So many flavors. We are honored you enjoy them, Your Highness, the mayor replied with a bow. Suddenly, Duri's ears perked up. He growled softly. Quiet, Duri, Ju whispered. But the dog grew more agitated. He stood up, his eyes fixed on a server moving through the crowd. Taejo noticed the dog's behavior and followed his gaze. The server was walking directly toward Princess Ju, one hand inside his jacket. Your Highness, Taejo shouted, reaching for his weapon. Everything happened at once. The server pulled out a strange device. Taejo lunged forward. Duri leaped from under the table. The device in the server's hand glowed red. Before anyone could react, Duri jumped between the attacker and Ju. A flash of blue light erupted from the dog's body. The red beam from the device hit this blue shield and bounced back, striking the attacker. The man fell to the ground, unconscious. Guards rushed in. People screamed and ran. Through it all, Ju stared at Duri with wide eyes. The dog stood firmly in front of her, a faint blue aura still flickering around his fur. Then the light faded, and Duri collapsed. Get Dr. Hyun, Ju ordered, scooping up the dog. He saved your life, Taejo said later in Ju's private chambers. That weapon was designed to pierce celestial energy shields. Duri lay sleeping on a cushion, his breathing steady. Dr. Hyun had found him exhausted but unharmed. How did he do it? Ju wondered, watching the dog. I don't know, Taejo admitted, but word is spreading. The humans are calling him your sacred beast now. Ju tilted her head. Sacred beast. What does that mean? It's from old Earth stories. Divine rulers with animal protectors blessed with special powers. Taejo hesitated. Some celestials are very upset about this incident. Let them be upset, Ju said firmly. She knelt beside Duri, who opened his eyes and licked her hand. I've made my decision. He stays with me officially now. Wherever I go, he goes too. The court will not approve, Taejo warned. I don't need their approval. Ju's eyes glowed brighter. Something tells me Duri is more important than any of us understand yet. As if he understood her words, Duri stood up and pressed his head against her hand. For Princess Ju walked through a busy market in Neo-Seoul. People bowed as she passed. Some offered her gifts of food and flowers. Duri trotted beside her, wearing a special blue collar that matched Ju's glow. They love you, Taejo said, walking behind them. They love Duri more, Ju replied with a smile. She was right. Children pointed at the dog, calling him this sacred beast and asking if they could pet him. 2 weeks had passed since the attack. Ju had continued her tour of Earth, but things had changed. Duri was now famous. Videos of him creating the blue shield had spread everywhere. Princess, a small girl ran up to them. Can I give your dog a treat? Before Taejo could stop her, The girl held out a small biscuit. Ju nodded, and Dury gently took the food from the child's hand. "Thank you," Dury said. Everyone froze. The word was clear, though rough and deep, like stones rolling together. The girl ran back to her mother. Ju stared at Dury. "Did you just?" she whispered. Dury tilted his head. His mouth didn't move, but Ju heard in her mind. Asterisk yes. I speak now. A little asterisk. Later, in Dr. Hyun's lab, screens showed images of Dury's brain. "It's changing," Dr. Hyun explained. "His brain structure is becoming more complex. And look here." He pointed to a glowing area. "This part is similar to the speech center in celestial brains." "How is this possible?" Ju asked. "I believe your energy is changing him," Dr. Hyun said. "The more time he spends with you, the more he evolves." Dury sat quietly, watching them talk about him. He understood every word now. Asterisk danger coming asterisk, he suddenly thought to Ju. She looked at him sharply. "What danger?" Dr. Hyun frowned. "Your Highness." Before she could explain, Taejo burst into the room. "We need to leave now. Another attack is coming." "How do you know?" Ju asked. Taejo held up his datapad. "I've been investigating the first assassin. He works for Imperial Regent Chlorvex. I just intercepted a message about a second attack planned for today." Dr. Hyun looked shocked. "The Regent wants to kill the princess. But why?" "To keep me from taking the throne," Ju said grimly. "He's ruled for too long while I grew up. He doesn't want to give up power." A loud boom shook the building. Alarms started blaring. "They're here," Taejo said, drawing his weapon. 3 masked figures broke through the lab door. They carried glowing red weapons like the first assassin had used. "Protect the princess," Taejo shouted, firing at them. Dury leaped forward, his body suddenly surrounded by blue light. But this time, he didn't just create a shield. A beam of energy shot from his mouth, hitting one attacker and sending him flying backward. The other 2 assassins fired their weapons. Dury jumped, moving faster than any normal dog could move. He knocked one attacker down with his paws. The last one aimed at Ju. Dury howled. The sound became a wave of energy that slammed the attacker against the wall. In seconds, it was over. All 3 attackers lay unconscious on the floor. Ju, Taejo, and Dr. Hyun stared at Dury in amazement. The dog stood in the center of the room, blue energy still flickering around him like flames. Asterisk. They will send more asterisk, Dury thought to Ju. His mental voice was stronger now, clearer. Asterisk, we must go to your home. To stop the one who sends them asterisk. He's right, Ju said. My Earth tour ends next week anyway. We need to return to Astra, to the Imperial capital. And face the Regent? Taejo asked. Ju looked at Dury, who stood tall and strong, so different from the starving stray she had found in the rain. Yes, she said, with my sacred beast at my side. Dury walked to her and pressed against her leg. Asterisk, I am becoming something new, asterisk, he told her. Asterisk, something that hasn't existed for a very long time, asterisk. None of them noticed Dr. Hyun's troubled face as he looked at his private screen, showing a genetic analysis that made no sense at all. The royal ship rose from Earth, glowing blue against the night sky. Inside, Princess Ju stood by a large window, watching as Neo Soul shrank below them. Will I ever see it again? She wondered aloud. Asterisk, you will return. Asterisk, Dury thought to her from his spot at her feet. Asterisk, but we will both be different, asterisk. Ju looked down at her companion. In the 3 days since they had left Dr. Hyun's lab, Dury had changed more. His fur now had a slight blue shine. His eyes seemed to hold a deep wisdom. Your Highness, Taejo called, entering the room. Dr. Hyun would like to see you in medical bay. Is something wrong? Ju asked. He wouldn't say, just that it's important. Ju nodded and followed Taejo through the ship. Dury walked beside her, head high, drawing curious looks from the crew. The medical bay was filled with advanced equipment. Dr. Hyun stood by a large screen, looking worried. When they entered, he quickly turned it off. "Thank you for coming, Your Highness," he said with a bow. "What have you discovered?" Ju asked directly. Dr. Hyun hesitated. "May we speak alone?" "Duri stays with me," Ju said firmly. "And I trust Taejo with my life." Dr. Hyun sighed. "Very well. I've been studying Duri's DNA samples from when we first met him. There's something strange." He turned on the screen again. "These patterns here, they're not normal dog DNA. They're not normal anything." "What do you mean?" Ju asked. "Some parts look like they were added by someone long ago." Dr. Hyun pointed to a section. "This part was inactive when we found him. Now it's turning on, bit by bit." Duri sat calmly, watching the screen that showed his own genetic code. Asterisk, "The old ones made us ready," asterisk, he thought. Only Ju heard him. "What old ones?" she asked aloud. Dr. Hyun and Taejo looked confused. Ju explained about Duri's telepathy. "That's remarkable," Dr. Hyun said. He knelt in front of Duri. "Who are the old ones?" Duri tilted his head. Asterisk, "Don't know yet. The knowledge comes in pieces as I change." Asterisk. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Red lights flashed. "What's happening?" Ju demanded. Taejo rushed to a communication panel. "Ship sensors detect an unauthorized access to our main systems," he reported. "Are we under attack?" Dr. Hyun asked, looking afraid. "No," Taejo said, confused. "The access is coming from inside this room." All eyes turned to Duri. The dog's eyes glowed bright blue. He sat very still, as if in a trance. Asterisk, "Learning." Asterisk, his voice came into Juwoo's mind. Asterisk, "The ship is sharing its knowledge with me." Asterisk. "It's him," Juwoo said, amazed. "He's connecting to the ship's systems." The alarms stopped. Duri's eyes returned to normal. Asterisk, "I understand more now." Asterisk, he told Juwoo. Asterisk, "About the stars. About your empire." Asterisk. "How is this possible?" Dr. Hyun whispered. Before anyone could answer, the main door slid open. Moro entered, looking angry. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "The ship reports a security breach, and I find you all here with that creature." He pointed at Duri. "My sacred beast was exploring the ship's knowledge," Juwoo said calmly. "This has gone too far," Moro shouted. "That animal accessed classified Imperial systems. The Regent must be informed immediately." "No," Juwoo said. Her voice was cold and royal. "You will inform no one. As Imperial Heir, I commanded." Moro's face darkened. "We reach the capital in 3 days. The Regent will hear of all this then." He turned and left, his steps angry. "He's loyal to Sorvex," Taejo said quietly. Juwoo nodded. "Then we have 3 days to prepare." Duri moved to the screen showing his DNA. He raised a paw and touched it. The image changed, showing a star map. Asterisk, "Here," asterisk, he thought. Asterisk, "The answers are here." Asterisk. On the screen, a small point of light pulsed. A planet no one had thought about for 10,000 years. Earth. The royal ship landed on Astra, the shining heart of the celestial empire. Huge towers of crystal and metal reached toward the pink sky. Flying vehicles moved between them like busy insects. Princess Juwoo stood at the ship's exit, dressed in her finest royal clothes. Duri sat beside her, wearing a specially made collar with the royal symbol. "Remember," Taejo said quietly, "Regent Horvex will try to make you look bad in front of everyone." "I know," Juwoo replied. "Stay close to Dr. Hyun. Keep him safe." The doors opened. Bright light flooded in. Outside, hundreds of Celestials waited in ordered lines. Their insect-like bodies shimmered with different colors based on their rank. At the front stood Regent Sorvex, tall and imposing with deep purple skin. "Welcome home, princess," the regent said, his voice cold. His 4 eyes narrowed when he saw Dury. "I see the rumors are true. You brought an earth animal to our sacred capital." Juwu walked forward confidently. "I present my sacred beast, chosen companion to the Imperial Heir." Whispers spread through the crowd. Many Celestials looked disgusted. Some looked curious. "Sacred beast." Xorvex laughed. "That ancient tradition died thousands of years ago. This is just a pet." Dury looked directly at the regent. His eyes glowed blue. Asterisk, "I am more than you know," asterisk, he projected, not just to Juwu this time, but to everyone present. Gasps rose from the crowd. Xorvex stepped back in shock. "It speaks," he hissed. "He communicates," Juwu corrected. "And he saved my life twice from assassins." She looked pointedly at the regent. Xorvex recovered quickly. "How fascinating. We must discuss this at length." His voice became smooth. "But first, you must prepare for the presentation ceremony tomorrow. The court is eager to welcome you home." As they moved toward the palace, Celestials crowded to see Dury. Some reached out to touch him, then pulled back in fear when blue sparks jumped from his fur. That night, in Juwu's royal chambers, Dr. Hen set up his equipment. "I want to run more tests on Dury," he explained. "His changes are happening faster now." Dury jumped onto a large cushion and lay down. His body seemed to glow from within. Asterisk, "The energy here is strong," asterisk, he told Juwu. Asterisk, "It feeds the changes," asterisk. Dr. Hyun worked quietly, taking samples and readings. "Amazing," he muttered. "His cells are resembling celestial energy patterns, but still keeping their earth animal nature." A soft knock interrupted them. Taejo entered, looking worried. "I've been listening to palace talk," he said. "The regent has planned something for tomorrow's ceremony. He wants to humiliate you in front of everyone." "How?" Juwu asked. "I don't know exactly, but be prepared for anything." After Taejo left, Dr. Hyun continued his work late into the night. Finally, he packed up his equipment. "I need to analyze this data in my lab," he said. "The results could be important." "Be careful," Juwu warned. "Trust no one." Hours later, Dury suddenly sat up, his ears alert. Asterisk, "Danger," asterisk, he thought to Juwu, waking her from sleep. "What is it?" she asked, sitting up quickly. Asterisk, Dr. Hyun. "Pain. Fear," asterisk. Juwu called for guards, but Dury was already moving. He raced through the palace halls, following a trail only he could sense. Juwu ran after him. They found Dr. Hyun in his lab, lying on the floor. Blood pooled around him. His equipment was destroyed. "Hyun." Juwu knelt beside him. "What happened?" "They came for my research," he whispered weakly. "Had to protect it." "Who did this?" Juwu demanded. But Dr. Hyun closed his eyes. His breathing was shallow. Dury approached and touched his nose to Dr. Hyun's head. Blue light passed between them. Asterisk, "He hid the truth inside me," asterisk, Dury told Juwu. Asterisk, "Before they attacked. A copy of his findings," asterisk. "What findings?" Juwu asked as palace guards finally arrived. Dury's eyes glowed with new knowledge. Asterisk, "My DNA contains parts from Earth dogs, and something else. Something from before the Celestials ruled the stars," asterisk. As Dr. Hyun was taken for emergency treatment, Juwu looked at Dury with new understanding and fear. "Tomorrow," she said quietly, "we face the court, and we must be ready for whatever the regent has planned." Dury stood tall beside her, no longer just a stray dog, but something ancient awakening. Asterisk, "We will be ready," asterisk, he promised. Regent Xorvex stood in a secret room deep beneath the Imperial Palace. 5 celestial nobles gathered around him, their faces hidden by shadow. "The princess and her beast grow too powerful," Xorvex said. "Today at the ceremony, we will end this problem." What if the dog truly is a sacred beast? Asked one noble, her voice nervous. The old stories say they brought great power to the empire. Stories for children. Thorvex snapped. There is no such thing, and I will prove it today. He touched a control panel, revealing a large container filled with red liquid. This will neutralize any energy the creature produces. Then the princess will be seen as a fool who brought a common animal to our sacred halls. And if that fails? Another noble asked. Thorvex's 4 eyes narrowed. Then we have more direct methods. Princess Juwu dressed carefully for the ceremony. Her royal robes shimmered with blue light. Duri sat nearby, watching her. Asterisk, you're worried, asterisk, he thought to her. Yes, she admitted. Dr. Hyun is still unconscious, and we don't know what the regent plans. Taijo entered the room, bowing. Your Highness, I found something. He held up a small data device, hidden records from the ancient archives. I had to break many rules to get this. Show me, Juwu said. Taijo activated the device. A hologram appeared, showing old images, celestials from thousands of years ago, but something was different about them. And beside them stood strange creatures glowing with energy. Sacred beasts, Juwu whispered. They'd really existed. Yes, but there's more. Taijo pointed to another image. Look at this symbol. It appears in the oldest records, before celestials ruled the stars. The symbol showed a strange shape, like nothing they had seen before. Asterisk, I know this. Asterisk, Duri suddenly thought. Asterisk, it's from Earth. From very long ago, asterisk. Earth? Juwu looked surprised. But that means... Before she could finish, a loud tone rang throughout the palace. The ceremony is starting, Taijo said. We must go. The great hall was filled with thousands of celestials. They buzzed with excitement as Princess Juwu entered with Duri walking proudly beside her. At the front of the hall, on a high platform, sat Regent Thorvex on the imperial throne. Princess Juwu, he announced, his voice carrying to every corner. Step forward for your presentation to the court. Juwu walked to the center of the hall. Duri stayed close to her side. Before you take your place as heir, Thorvex continued, you must demonstrate your understanding of our ways, our traditions. He gestured, and servants brought forward a small box. The test of purity. Thorvex explained, all royals must pass it. Place your companion in this container, where his true nature will be revealed. Juwu looked at the box. Inside was the red liquid she had seen in Thorvex's secret room. Through Duri's stolen memories from Dr. Hyun. This is not tradition, Juwu said loudly. This is your trick. Whispers spread through the crowd. You dare accuse the regent? Thorvex stood, angry. I do. Juwu turned to face the crowd. The regent fears what my sacred beast represents. He fears the truth about our history. What truth? Someone called from the crowd. Duri stepped forward. His body began to glow brighter than ever before. Blue light spread from him in waves, forming images in the air above the hall. The images showed celestials and humans together, showed sacred beasts of many kinds, showed Earth as it was long ago. Asterisk, the truth, asterisk, Duri's thoughts reached everyone present. Asterisk, that humans were never meant to be servants, that sacred beasts were created to protect the balance between our kinds, asterisk. Lies. Thorvex shouted. Guards, seize them. But before the guards could move, the doors of the great hall burst open. Dr. Hyun entered, supported by palace medical staff. The dog speaks the truth, he called weakly. My research proves it. Princess Juwu's sacred beast carries ancient DNA activated by royal energy. DNA placed there by the founders of our empire. Who were these founders? Juwu asked loudly. Dr. Hyun looked directly at Thorvex. That is what the regent doesn't want known. The founders came from Earth. Chaos erupted in the hall. Celestials shouted questions. Guards looked confused, not knowing who to obey. In the confusion, Thorvex pressed a hidden button on his throne. Alarms blared throughout the palace. "The princess and all humans are hereby charged with treason," he announced. "They will be contained until proper judgment can be passed." As guards moved forward, Duri's body pulsed with light. "We must go deeper," he told Juwu. To the place below, where the true history is hidden. "How do you know this?" Juwu asked aloud. "The knowledge was always there," Duri replied. "Waiting for me to awaken." "Seize them!" Regent Thorvex shouted as chaos filled the great hall. Guards rushed toward Princess Juwu, Dr. Hyun, and Taizhou. Duri stood in front of them. His body began to change. Blue light covered him completely. His shape grew larger, brighter. When the first guard reached them, Duri let out a howl that shook the walls. A wave of energy burst from him, knocking the guards back. The palace lights flickered and died. Only Duri's glow lit the darkness. "Run, he thought to Juwu. Will show the way, They ran. Taizhou helped Dr. Hyun, who was still weak. Duri led them through side doors and down empty halls. Behind them, they heard shouts and heavy footsteps. "Where are we going?" Juwu asked as they raced deeper into the palace. Down. Duri answered. Go, the beginning. They reached a small door hidden behind a large statue. Duri touched it with his nose, and it slid open. Inside was a narrow stairway leading down into darkness. "I didn't know this was here," Juwu said in wonder. "I grew up in this palace." "Many secrets have been kept from you, Your Highness," Taizhou said as they hurried down the stairs. The stairway seemed endless. Down and down they went, deep beneath the palace. The air grew old and stale. Finally, they'd reached the bottom. A vast chamber opened before them. Duri's light showed walls covered in pictures and writing. "What is this place?" Dr. Hyun whispered, staring around in amazement. The first chamber, Duri replied. Where it all began. As they moved into the room, lights slowly came on. Not electric lights, but a soft glow from the walls themselves. The chamber was circular, with a round platform in the center. "Look at the walls," Taizhou said in awe. The walls showed images of beings they had never seen before. Tall figures, somewhat like humans but different. And beside them were animals of many kinds, all glowing with power. "Sacred beasts," Juwu breathed. "So many of them." The architects, Duri told them. The founders of all. Dr. Hyun moved closer to the walls, studying the pictures. "These symbols match the DNA patterns I found in Duri," he said excitedly. "This is incredible." Juwu walked around the chamber, looking at each image. Who were these architects? Why have we never heard of them? "Watch," Duri said. He stepped onto the central platform. His body glowed brighter than ever. The entire chamber responded, lights pulsing in rhythm with Duri's energy. The walls began to move. The images shifted and changed. A new scene appeared. It showed the architects creating other beings, the first celestials. "They made us?" Juwu asked, shocked. Yes, Duri answered. And they made the sacred beasts to guide and protect The images continued to change. They showed celestials and sacred beasts living together, building cities, traveling among the stars. Then came darker images: conflict, fighting, betrayal. "What happened?" Taizhou asked. The great betrayal, Duri explained. Some celestials wanted more power. They turned against their creators. The walls showed terrible battles. The architects and many sacred beasts fell. The remaining celestials took control, building their own empire on the ruins of what came before. But where did the architects come from? Dr. Hyun asked. The final image appeared on the walls. It showed a familiar blue and green planet. Earth, Jiwoo whispered. Asterisk, the architects were humans. Asterisk, Dury said. Asterisk, from long, long ago. They traveled to the stars and created the Celestials to help them build a peaceful galaxy. Asterisk. Humans created Celestials. Taejo couldn't believe it. Asterisk, yes. And when the Celestials rebelled, the last architects hid their knowledge in Earth's most loyal companions, dogs, waiting for the day when humans would reach the stars again. Asterisk. Jiwoo stood silent, trying to understand what this meant. Everything she knew about her people, about the Empire, was wrong. The Regent knows this, she realized. That's why he fears you, Dury. You're living proof of the truth. Before Dury could respond, they heard footsteps on the stairs. Many footsteps. They found us, Taejo said, drawing his weapon. Dury moved to the chamber entrance, his body changing again, growing even brighter. Asterisk, the final transformation begins. Asterisk, he told Jiwoo. Asterisk, I am becoming what I was always meant to be. Asterisk. Regent Xorvex led the guards down the ancient stairs. His 4 eyes glowed with anger. The princess has found the forbidden chamber, he hissed to his captain. No one must leave this place alive. At the bottom of the stairs, they found Dury waiting for them. The dog was no longer just a dog. His body was now made of pure blue light, shaped like a canine but larger, taller. Energy rippled off him in waves. Stand aside, beast, Xorvex ordered. Dury did not move. Instead, his eyes, now 2 orbs of white fire, locked onto the regent. Asterisk, you have hidden the truth for too long. Asterisk, Dury's thoughts boomed in all their minds. Kill it, Xorvex shouted. The guards raised their weapons. Before they could fire, Dury howled. The sound was not just noise. It was pure energy. The guards' weapons sparked and died in their hands. Inside the chamber, Jiwoo felt the palace systems connecting to her mind through Dury. She could see everything happening in the building above. On every screen, in every room, images from the ancient walls were appearing. He's showing everyone the truth, she realized. Taejo looked at the entrance where Dury held back the guards. We should run while we can. There must be another way out. No, Jiwoo said firmly. I will not hide anymore. It's time to face this. She walked forward, past Dury, and stood before Regent Xorvex and his guards. You lied to our people, she said, her voice strong and clear. You hid our true history. I protected our empire. Xorvex shouted. Would you have our people know they were created as servants, that humans made us in labs? Our people deserve the truth, Jiwoo replied. Xorvex laughed coldly. Truth. The truth is that humans were weak. We took what was ours by right of strength. Dr. Hyun stepped forward, leaning on Taejo for support. The records show the Celestials killed their creators, he said. They rewrote history to hide their shame. And then you kept humans as second-class citizens, Taejo added, fearing the day they might remember what you did. Xorvex's face twisted with rage. Enough. He pulled out a small device. This will collapse the entire chamber. We will bury this place, and all of you with it. Before he could activate the device, a strange sound filled the air. A high, clear tone that seemed to come from everywhere. The walls of the chamber glowed brighter. What's happening? One of the guards asked, looking around in fear. Dury's form grew even brighter. He was changing again. His shape remained dog-like, but now he seemed to be made of stars and light. Asterisk, the final connection is complete. Asterisk, he announced to everyone. Asterisk, I am linked to all Imperial systems now. Asterisk. All around them, holographic screens appeared, floating in the air. They showed images from across the palace, from ships in orbit, from cities on celestial worlds. On every screen, frightened Celestials watched as the ancient history played out. The creation of their species by human architects, the rebellion, the slaughter of their creators, the cover-up that followed. You can't do this, Sorvex screamed, lunging at Dury with a hidden blade. The blade passed through Dury's light form without harm. Dury didn't attack back. Instead, he touched his glowing nose to Sorvex's forehead. The regent froze. His eyes widened as Dury shared something with him, a vision only he could see. No, Sorvex whispered, falling to his knees. It cannot be. What did you show him? Ju asked. The future, Dury replied. If we continue on this path of Lee's asterisk. The guards lowered their weapons, confused and afraid. Some had fallen to their knees, overcome by the truth they were seeing on the screens. Ju stepped forward. This ends today, she announced. I call for an emergency meeting of the Imperial Senate. All worlds will send representatives, human, celestial, and all other species of our empire. She looked at Dury, who nodded his glowing head. It is time for truth, Ju said. Time for a new beginning. As she spoke, Dury's light spread throughout the chamber, touching everyone present. In that moment, they all felt connected, all part of something greater than themselves. Even Sorvex, still on his knees, could not deny what he felt. The Empire was about to change forever. 3 days later, the great Imperial Senate Hall was filled to capacity. Representatives from every world in the Empire had come. Celestials sat in their traditional sections, but now humans and other species filled spaces that had once been close to them. Princess Ju stood on the central platform. She wore simple clothes, not the royal robes she had always worn before. Beside her stood Dury, his form still made of light and energy, but now shaped perfectly like his original dog self. Regent Sorvex sat in a special box, guarded but not chained. His face showed defeat, but also something new, understanding. People of the Empire, Ju began, her voice carrying to all corners of the hall. For 3 days, you have seen the truth of our history. You know now that humans created celestials long ago. You know of the great betrayal and the lies that followed. A murmur ran through the crowd. Some celestials looked ashamed, others angry. The humans watched with wide eyes, still processing this new reality. Today, we must decide our future, Ju continued, not as separate peoples, but as one galactic family. Dr. Hyun stepped forward, now fully recovered. The science is clear. Human and celestial DNA show our connected past. The architects were humans who reached the stars thousands of years before we thought possible. They created the celestials as partners, not servants. Tajo joined them, holding ancient records discovered in the hidden chamber. And they created the sacred beasts as bridges between our kinds, living symbols of our bond. A celestial senator stood up. Why should we believe this? These could be human tricks. It is no trick. Dury's thoughts reached everyone. See the truth with your own eyes. The air in the center of the Senate Hall shimmered. Dury's power created a perfect circle of light. Inside it, images formed, not recordings or holograms, but windows into the past itself. They saw the architects working together with early celestials. They saw the first sacred beasts bringing joy and protection to both species. Then came the painful images of betrayal, as ambitious celestials attacked their creators. Finally, they saw a small group of architects in a lab on Earth, working with animals. This is the final act of the survivors, Dr. Hyun explained. They hid special DNA in Earth's most loyal animals, dogs. DNA that would activate when the time was right, when humans reached the stars again. An old celestial rose slowly from her seat. I have served in this Senate for 200 years. Even in our oldest, most secret texts, there were hints of the sacred beasts. I believe what we are seeing is true. More voices joined from all species, some afraid, some angry, but many hopeful. What do we do now? Someone called out. Juwu looked at Duri, who nodded encouragingly. I propose a new council, she said, not ruled by celestials alone, but with equal voices from all worlds. And I ask that the sacred beasts return to guide us. I am the first, Duri shared. Others will awaken across the galaxy. The architect's final gift is beginning. Regent Sorvex stood in his box. The room fell silent. I fought against this truth my whole life, he said quietly. But I have seen what our future holds if we continue in lies. He bowed his head to Juwu. I support the princess, the empress, and her vision. One by one, senators and representatives stood to show their support. Not all. Some walked out in protest, but most stayed. Juwu felt tears in her eyes as she turned to Duri. From a starving stray to a divine guide, you have changed everything. Duri wagged his tail, the motion sending ripples of light through his glowing form. Despite his godlike powers, he was still, in his heart, a dog who loved his person. I was always meant to find you, he told her. Our peoples were always meant to find each other again, Later that day, as the new Empress Juwu signed the first laws of the reformed empire, Duri lay at her feet. His light touched everyone in the room, connecting their minds and hearts in understanding. Far away on Earth, in city alleys and country farms, other dogs looked up at the sky, their eyes briefly flashing blue. The time of the sacred beasts had begun again.